Gyokeres to Arsenal building momentum, Chelsea make contact with Benjamin Sesko, and Liverpool hope to seal a Premier League record transfer fee for Bayer Leverkusen's Florian Wirtz. Let's get into all the transfer news from today. How's it going, guys? And welcome back to the Full Ball Show, your home to all the latest football news and transfer updates. In today's episode, we're going to do a little recap of all the latest Premier League transfer updates from reports today, some news we've heard as well, especially from the top six, like the Champions League clubs. I think it's going to be a very big window for the Premier League sides. I'm expecting anywhere upwards of £1 billion to be spent this season. That's going to be, as we say it every year, but it's definitely going to be the biggest transfer window we've ever seen in England. We're going to kick things off with Arsenal. Obviously, most of you guys know that Arsenal are chasing Victor Gyokeres. He does seem to be the Gunners' number one target. According to reports out of Italy today from Nicola Shearer, the Gunners are in contact with Sporting Lisbon over a £60 million transfer, which for Gyokeres would definitely be a bargain. Apparently, Shearer and from the news we've personally heard that the Gunners have offered him quite a nice package of around £200,000 per week, a 5-year deal. Weird that the Gunners actually offered this deal to his representatives quite a couple of weeks ago. With the Club World Cup coming ahead quite quickly this summer, a lot of clubs are looking to get their business done early. Arsenal, no exception. I mean, we're going to get into Liverpool as well. They pretty much looking like they're going to have a dream start to the transfer window. But sticking to Arsenal, Victor Gyokeres does seem like the man that they want to get over the line now. Martin Zubimendi looks like a done deal. Now they want to get Victor Gyokeres over the line. Gyokeres is a player that's loved by Andrea Berta. Andrea Berta is personally pushing to get this deal done. And considering that it's his first transfer window as the new Arsenal sporting director, we are sure he's going to want to make a big splash this summer. Another name that's been linked with Arsenal has obviously been Benjamin Sesko. The Gunners are in contact with his agents, but I think that's more of like an alternative to Gyokeres, just in case that deal doesn't go through. According to reports from X today, it seems that Chelsea have also now made contact with Sesko. And to be fair, the Chelsea deal for Sesko does look a little bit more realistic, just because of the type of profile of player they've been trying to get over the last couple of seasons. They target young players that could potentially grow into world-class players, and then also have a potential big sell-on fee. So Sesko to Chelsea actually does seem like it makes a little bit more sense. They're also linked with Liam Delap, another player Man United also linked with. And according to those same reports, Chelsea could be open to listening to offers for Nicholas Jackson. So if he does leave, that does open the door for a striker to come in at Chelsea. At this moment in time, all we're hearing from Chelsea's side is a lot of striker news. Like we mentioned, Benjamin Sesko, Liam Delap, also Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt. Another player that's actually been linked with a host of Premier League clubs. However, I think Frankfurt have a bit of unrealistic expectations of how much they can get for him. Apparently, they're quoting size between 80 and 100 million euros. So you can think that's possibly around 60 to 80 million pounds. Do I think they're going to get it? They probably will get it, just because the Premier League sides are desperate for attacking reinforcements. I wouldn't be surprised if Tottenham end up paying a fee like that. We saw them pay that for Solanke last season. We'll have to see with Hugo Ekitike though. I think Liam Delap's going to definitely be a name that's going to be joining one of the big clubs, Man United, even though they had a bad season. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for someone like Liam Delap. They were very much interested in Gyokeres. However, I think it was Florian Plettenberg. One of the big reporters today, I think it was Florian Plettenberg. I can't remember exactly who said, but said that the Gyokeres deal is almost completely all for Man United. And I think that it's likely going to be Arsenal signing Gyokeres. Liverpool and Chelsea are also interested in Gyokeres, but I think Arsenal are currently the front runners for that one. Sticking with a little bit more Arsenal news, Rodrigo has been a player that's been linked with the club, also been linked with Liverpool. However, Xabi Alonso, new Real Madrid manager, came in today at his first press conference as the Madrid boss, and it does seem like that he wants to keep Rodrigo. Rodrigo would be a difficult deal nonetheless for most clubs. Around £80 million to sign him, while also demanding a salary of around £300,000 per week. And I think the salary demands are actually where the biggest issues come in. considering the amount of left-wing options on the market at the moment, I think there could be slightly more cost-efficient options on the market that teams could go for, like Nico Williams, for instance. Nico Williams is asking for around the same salary, but he will come at a much lower price because I think he's got about a £50 million release clause. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Rodrigo. My personal opinion is I think Rodrigo is likely going to be staying at Real Madrid this summer. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much that covers the Arsenal news. I think it covers the Chelsea side of things. Moving on to Liverpool. Now, Liverpool, even though they're Premier League champions, they're making huge inroads into this transfer market, and they pretty much look like at this moment in time that they're winning the transfer market battle. They've already signed Jeremy Frimpong. He's going to be coming in from Bayer Leverkusen. They're in talks with Milos Gyokeres, the left back from Bournemouth, another good young player coming up in the Premier League ranks. If they get Frimpong on the right for right back replacing Trent and Gyokeres on the left, that's definitely adding to their defence. Also, both are good defenders in their own right, but more so for their attacking prowess, which you've seen Liverpool really bank on over the last decade or so, Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So those are two good players. As I mentioned, Frimpong's already signed, and Gyokeres is keen on a move to Liverpool, so that's another one I expect them to get done. Gyokeres probably for around between 40 and 50 million pounds. Very good deal for Liverpool. Now the big one obviously is Florian Wirtz, the Bayer Leverkusen man. He looked like he was destined to be joining Bayern Munich this summer. However, most reports have been stating that Liverpool are pushing ahead with him. With a lot of reports also coming out today, that Liverpool have actually lodged the bid. I can't remember if it's 100 million euros, 100 million pounds, but that's likely how much he would be costing this summer. He's going to be very expensive. I wouldn't be shocked if he becomes the record transfer fee in the Premier League. And Liverpool have the money to spend. I mean, last season they only signed that Georgian keeper from Valencia, Chiesa, on loan, or free transfer, I can't remember, but doesn't really matter with that one. So they haven't really spent a lot of money. So they've got a lot of money in the bank, obviously, to spend on players. And who knows, after Wirtz, that does seem like they've already done a lot of business, a lot of good business. Would they be doing a bit more? You can argue they'll probably looking to get another central defensive midfielder in. They lost out on Zubamendi last summer, so they're likely to be looking at getting another midfielder in as well. Centre back, there's been reports that Konate might leave to go to Madrid. I don't think he's going to leave this summer. We'll have to wait and see. There's going to be a lot of business being done by a lot of Premier League clubs. And Liverpool at this point in time are definitely winning the transfer battle. Now moving on to the usual transfer kings, if you want to call them, at least when it comes to spending money, is Man City. They spent around £200 million in January, bringing in Marmoush, Kuznetsov and Vitor Reis. And at this point in time, they look like they're going to be spending a lot more money, as well as making some big sales. Jack Grealish seems to be getting off this summer. Kyle Walker, I believe, is probably going to be a free transfer. I'm not sure if he's still got a contract with Man City. Obviously, he joined AC Milan in Jan on a loan deal. He's going to be off. Talking of Kyle Walker, the right back position is going to have a free space available for City. And they're actually targeting Tino Livramento from Newcastle. A very good young English player as well. Livramento has been very good for Newcastle this season. Despite Newcastle making the Champions League, you do expect him to, if Man City come calling, you do expect him to make the move to the Citizens. Man City are way more likely to win Champions League, Premier League, and all the other domestic cups as well. So, and they'll probably also be able to pay him a lot more money. Even though Newcastle do have very rich owners, I'm not sure how their spending is going to be this summer. Currently with them, the only stories I'm hearing for them is Joan Garcia. I haven't really been keeping up with Newcastle per se, so there could be a little bit more transfers happening on their side. But as far as I know, Joan Garcia is a target for them, is a player that could come in and be a very good goalkeeper for them instead of Nick Pope. Another man that came close to joining Arsenal obviously was Joan Garcia. I don't think Joan Garcia to Arsenal will be happening this summer. I think he does not want to be a backup keeper. I think he personally wants to be a first choice. And with a host of big name clubs, I mean, Barcelona tried to approach him. Apparently, he rejected that deal. But with a host of big name clubs interested in him, I can see Joan Garcia definitely joining either Newcastle or Man United this summer. Speaking of Man United, Andre Onana and Alejandro Garnacho both look set to be leaving the club this summer. Garnacho definitely. Onana, they're looking for possible sale there to Saudi. Whether or not Onana leaves is yet to be seen, considering how poor he's been since joining United. I don't think he'll have many suitors. Garnacho, on the other hand, came close to joining Napoli and Chelsea in January. Expect both those teams to come back in for him. Napoli more likely than anyone else. Conte is a big fan of Garnacho. I'm not sure if Conte is actually staying at Napoli. There's been reports that he might go back to Juve or to a different club. If he stays, they expect Napoli to be back in for Garnacho. But on the incoming front for United, Matheus Cunha obviously signed. He signed for United. Apparently United will pay it in 3 installments. So last installment to be paid in 2027. Very, very good deal for United, and it really helps their creative department as well as attacking options. I think with Cunha deal now being sealed, I think that also pretty much dismisses a deal for Victor Gyokeres. I know a lot of United fans are saying that Cunha is predominantly going to be coming in as a 10. However, he can play as a striker, and if they can sign Cunha and let's say like a Liam Delap, who they're also close to, that pretty much cements their striking options. I also don't see both Xerxes and Højlund leaving. Likely Højlund leaving this summer. Juventus, Napoli, and Inter Milan. One of the Milan clubs are interested in Højlund. So expect Højlund to leave. Expect a very busy summer from United. United always spend, and even though they finished, 15th, there's going to be a lot of outgoings and a lot of incomings for United. United this summer. On the Spurs front, I mentioned it before, Jack Grealish is leaving Man City. I would keep an eye out there definitely for Grealish to Tottenham. I can't really see any other club going in for him. Maybe going back to Aston Villa. But if he gets the chance to play Champions League, he's not super old, but he is getting at the end of his career. I think he's going to be like 29, 30 come the season. So he's definitely going to be one that's on the move from Man City. I think Tottenham have been linked with him before, so I would definitely keep an eye on that. On the outgoings front for Tottenham, Cuti Romero, he spoke a couple of months ago, and it seemed like he was destined to leave the club for Atletico Madrid. Whether or not the Champions League qualification now has changed his mind, we'll still have to see on that front. But it's going to be a very, very interesting summer window nonetheless for the Premier League sides. Expect a lot of incomings, a lot of outgoings, a lot of money being spent. Arsenal for Gyokeres at this moment in time, I think, is the main piece of business. You've got Chelsea looking at Benjamin Sesko and Liam Delap. I think keep an eye on those ones. Obviously, Liverpool with Florian Wirtz. Man City have a couple of options coming in. Tijani Reinders from AC Milan's a midfielder they've been looking at for quite some time. Morgan Gibbs-White's another one that Pep really likes. Then they've got Ryan Ait-Nouri, who Fabrizio Romano today reported is of interest for Man City, as well as Tino Livramento. That will definitely cover a lot of bases for City. Man United has also mentioned a lot of incomings and outgoings. There's going to be a lot of things happening at United. Bruno, didn't even mention Bruno. Is the Saudi bid still on? What's going to happen with that one? Spurs, not much news so far, and Newcastle, not so much news so far. So we'll see what happens with those clubs as well. But as always, guys, we're going to be doing this a lot more often. We're going to be trying getting out a video for you guys every single day, recapping the transfer news. Also, if there's any breaking news, any done deals, any here we goes, as Fabrizio likes to say, we'll definitely be posting and keeping you guys up to date. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. As always, don't forget to smash that like button. Follow the Football Show for all your latest football news and transfer updates. And leave your comments in the comment section down below. Cheers, guys.